This Stoic dives into a rarely discussed psychological truth about women, that their actions, silences, and emotional shifts are not random or contradictory, but the result of an internal process where emotion is first deeply felt, then carefully translated before it ever becomes language or behavior. What many people interpret as moodiness, distance, or inconsistency is often a form of emotional intelligence at work, where feelings are being processed, tested for safety, and shaped into expression. In relationships, this translation can look like silence instead of confrontation, softness instead of logic, or hesitation instead of clarity. In work environments, it may appear as indirect communication, emotional awareness, or sensitivity to tone rather than instruction. And in friendships, it often shows up as loyalty expressed through presence rather than words. Stoic wisdom teaches that misunderstanding arises not because emotions are irrational, but because we try to interpret them using the wrong language, logic instead of awareness, reaction instead of observation. When you learn to slow down, remain grounded, and listen beyond what is spoken, you begin to understand that emotional signals are not obstacles, but information, guiding connection rather than disrupting it. This understanding transforms communication because it removes the need to argue with feelings and replaces it with calm perception, allowing trust to grow naturally. Women feel safest and most connected not when they are questioned or corrected, but when their emotional reality is acknowledged without pressure, and this creates a deep, almost invisible bond built on security rather than excitement. Stoicism does not teach emotional suppression, it teaches mastery through understanding, recognizing that strength lies in patience, attraction grows in emotional safety, and clarity emerges when we stop demanding explanation and start offering presence. Once this psychological pattern is understood, relationships stop feeling like puzzles, conflicts lose their intensity, and interactions become smoother, warmer, and more meaningful, because you are no longer reacting to behavior, you are understanding the emotion beneath it. And that single shift truly changes everything. As you begin to notice these patterns, you realize that women's behavior often carries layers of intention and emotion that are invisible to those who interpret words literally. A simple, "I'm fine," can conceal hours of reflection, subtle doubts, or the need for reassurance that is never asked for outright, and yet it communicates more than any verbal explanation could. In relationships, the ability to observe without immediate reaction becomes a form of strength, a quiet magnetism that draws trust and intimacy rather than forcing compliance or clarity. Stoicism emphasizes presence over control, patience over persuasion, and through this lens, you learn that emotional silence is not rejection, it is contemplation, a space where understanding is tested and truth is revealed gradually. The subtle shifts in tone, fleeting expressions, and pauses in conversation are all part of a hidden emotional language, and recognizing this allows you to respond with empathy without losing your center. Over time, this creates an environment where women feel safe to reveal not only their thoughts, but also their vulnerabilities, leading to a connection that is both authentic and resilient. In the workplace, friendships, and family dynamics, the same principle applies. Observing first, judging later, and responding with thoughtful calm transforms conflict into collaboration, criticism into understanding, and distance into closeness. This understanding does not come overnight. It requires practice, reflection, and the humility to accept that your initial interpretations are often incomplete. Yet once mastered, it changes the entire way you navigate human interaction, giving you the rare ability to see beneath the surface of words and gestures, perceive the emotional truths hidden in everyday moments, and respond in ways that inspire respect, admiration, and deep, lasting attraction. By embracing this approach, you cultivate not only stronger relationships with women, but a more profound connection with yourself, as patience, awareness, and calm become habits that define not only how others see you, but how you experience